Hi, my name is Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be going through all of my stuff and essentially will be telling you what I needed in uni, what I used, and what I just didn't use. So I will be showing you some items that I thought were extremely helpful, but I will also be showing you some items that I barely touched. So on that note, let's start with the first item that I barely used. So when I bought these, I knew that they were going to be quite a specific item that I would probably barely touch, and I was right. These cocktail glasses, they've been used once. They were fun to have. I was thinking maybe we're just doing a cocktail night and it's kind of fun to have one or two of those glasses, so I kind of knew buying them that they were not gonna be, you know, the main thing I would use in uni. But on the same note of glasses, which is also a bit bougie, but I own 6 wine glasses. They came in a box of 6 and I actually use those regularly. I use them quite a lot. If I was having a glass of wine, I would just grab my wine glass and feel bougie and just, you know, drink it out of a proper wine glass, which obviously is kind of unnecessary. I could have poured it in a cup or something else, and I still have, believe it or not, all 6 of them. Not one of them broke. Another item in terms of glasses that I really used a lot are these ones. They're also just from IKEA. All of my glasses are from IKEA, by the way, are these little guys. I had 6 of them. Was quite helpful if I had people over or when I just felt like having a drink. They're solid, they're very hard to break, and I still have all 6 of them as well. I really like these glasses. They're very versatile. They work for a lot of things. Essentially, I probably would not have needed my wine glasses, as you can drink wine out of these ones as well. So in terms of more kitchen stuff, I have more things in here. I think my most used item is in fact my strainer. I'm pretty sure it is actually.
I just got back from Sainsbury's and I got my garlic and they had strainers. I've never been so happy to locate a freaking strainer. I needed one so badly. I've been looking everywhere for strainers and just Sainsbury's, just my little local Sainsbury's, just had them sitting like in a corner of the store, and I've been walking past them for like I don't know how long, but they have strainers. I don't know, my life is complete right now. I'm just so happy.
These are absolutely amazing. They're for your hands so that you can grab onto hot items, which is absolutely marvelous. The only thing is that I would say is I have 4 plates, and the only reason why I have 4 plates is that when my husband, sometimes he comes over, I want to be able to like give him dinner on a proper plate as well, which is why I have 4. But maybe that's a bit much, if that makes sense. But I did actually use all of my different bowls. It's very nice to have a smaller bowl and a bigger bowl, but a small plate also very helpful. But maybe cut this in half, maybe have 2 plates, 1 small plate and 1 big bowl, 1 small bowl. Also my cutlery, very helpful, definitely use that. So I am very much into cooking, so I would say that I certainly use my measuring spoons for baking so many scones for my flatmates and at one point for a brunch. So I definitely used my measuring spoons. They definitely came in handy. Apart from that, I also have a bunch of utensils, which all of them I actually quite used. I think there's not one of them in there that I kind of didn't use. Just have a spatula, a large spoon. I think this is probably my least used item. I have something for baking, a sharp knife, and these tweezers we use for grabbing things, and a can opener, which is actually quite helpful to have a can opener and a wine bottle opener. So yeah, no, actually this I all used and I kept it in here so I could just, you know, grab it from my shelf when I was cooking and just put it on the bench and just kind of grab my utensils, and if I was finished, just put it back up in there. So yeah, essentially I have 3 cups, which is maybe a bit much. Again, nothing broke. I still have all of my glasses and cups. The only thing I bought extra on the way was like plastic cups and plastic plates to go barbecue and picnicking in Port Meadow. Hey, so in terms of stationery, I bought a diary, which I used a lot. I wrote down everything that I needed to do, when I need to do it by. This was incredibly helpful to have. Certainly, I'm not the person to use like a digital one online, like in calendar or something. I use a proper paper one, which I way prefer. Then I had this week planner that I absolutely used religiously to just write down all of the stuff I needed to do in that specific week. It has also a little bit of to-do section underneath, so it's very helpful to just write down the stuff that I needed to do. This week I didn't have any, apparently. Yeah, no, literally this was the way I made everything work and all my busy Oxford schedule fit in my day and make sure that it didn't double plan stuff. Also, I had my little to-do list, which I also used a lot, and I used used this one a lot too, which is a massive notepad essentially. It was incredibly helpful. Another piece of Amazon stationery that I really liked is this little pencil case. I put some pins on it. As you can tell, I have my crest and I have my poppy, but honestly, this was so amazing to have. And also it came in a setup too. So the other one I actually used to hold all of my cutlery. So that's the one that's sitting in my cupboard in the kitchen. So another thing that I bought that I actually really liked were these hangers. They're very slim and they're velvety, so nothing will slip off. So it actually stays on in my wardrobe, and I actually really like those. So this is one of the things I bought that I actually use quite a lot and that I'm actually quite happy with. Probably more of an unnecessary purchase, but these lights, I really like them. I was able to hang up with hooks, so I didn't have to stick on anything or nail anything into my wall. So more of the kitchen stuff that I really used. So one of the things that I did end up using a lot is my washcloth. I do not like using a drain rack. I prefer to dry everything by hand, so I have been getting a lot of use out of that. Obviously this cupboard is absolutely tiny. I was one of the unlucky few people who just end up with a tiny cupboard. So yeah, I got a very tiny pan, which has been very helpful to boil like a 1-person portion of pasta or rice or something. Furthermore, I have more pans. So this thing I bought actually quite a bit later, but that's just because I needed to bring out a bunch of scones, but that's a different story. I actually barely use my frying pan and I like cooking. This one I got a lot of use out of. But I would say personally that 2 pans is probably enough, and you probably want to stick with like a saucepan and a frying pan, and I think that would be plenty. I just had 3 and I never really used all 3 of them at the same time, or 4, unless I was cooking like a massive dinner, but then I could also just have borrowed some pots and pans off of my other flatmates. So I would say 2 should be plenty. This is another kitchen utensil I definitely used a lot. I own 1 cutting board, a large white one from IKEA, and it's been absolutely amazing and I've used it a lot of times, so I would definitely recommend getting a cutting board. I like to fold my clothing, so this thing actually was incredibly helpful. It's from IKEA and it allowed me to just have just a little bit more shelving space, because the only other shelving space I have is essentially this, which is very deep, but it's not like very like small bits where I can just easily put in t-shirts and that kind of stuff. So now let's discuss the food stash. Because the thing that happened is that we went to a massive grocery store and we just bought a bunch of food, and I did not end up using most of it, which is kind of sad. But also, like, I almost finished this flour because I do like baking, so I actually ended up... Whoops, that was a green curry right there. I actually did end up using flour. I'm not sure why I have 2 open bags of flour, but that kind of shows that fact that I like cooking. I bought also a ton of rice. I think there's more in the back. There's also more pasta in there that I really did not end up using. I ended up actually eating a lot of times in college. So if you're planning on eating a lot in college, just don't stock up on this many dry items, even though they don't go over a day or they just live on a very long life. It's just kind of a lot of stuff in my cupboard that I never really ended up using. So that's a lot of unnecessary items that you should probably not buy. And this laundry hamper, I have to say, was a really good buy because it's sorted by color. So it's actually a really good find. And it's from Amazon. It has a handle so I can very easily just carry it to the laundry facility. And it's been incredibly helpful to just have. It's one of my favorite things. I think that really worked really well. If you don't want to do your laundry by like different colors, because it is going to be a bit more expensive, so I try to save up more laundry before actually doing it. If you want to combine it, then just don't go for it. But if you do feel like doing your laundry separately, this is absolutely wonderful. I used to store my washing liquid in there as well. So I just toss my dirty clothes on top of it and then empty it out. And when I got downstairs and it was empty in the washing machine, and I could just grab my detergent and just pour it into the washing machine, which worked really well. Another key university item that really worked was one of those drying racks hang over your door, because you always will have the occasional thing that you need to dry, and also you don't want to have like a massive thing to store all of your laundry on. So this is perfect because it's small, you can fold it, you can store it away, and you can just hang like the occasional stuff. It's really good. Thank you so much for watching my video. I'm sorry it was a bit messy, but thank you so much for watching it. Please like, comment and subscribe, and there will be more Oxford content coming up.